Hello everyone, Darren here, and welcome back to episode 14 of my Satisfactory Let's Play. Now in the last episode, I visited every factory that we've set up so far and hooked up a basic overflow system to each one of them. And that's going to allow us to generate about 20,000 points in the background for the Awesome Shop and its tickets. We've also begun work expanding power by building a large frame housing 12 coal generators to be stacked on top of each other out on the water. Today we're going to be continuing that kind of coal rigging, and hopefully once done, we can get started then on the brand new motor factory. Alrighty, so I've cleaned up this area just a little bit since last time and added a few extra lookout towers so we can just get up to the top levels a bit quicker. I've also just readjusted the pillars on the bridge out here just to have more even spacing, and also keep this sort of riverbed slash road clear for us if we ever do want to drive under it. Alright, so you may remember in the last episode I did unlock some tickets from the Awesome Shop, and one of the ones was the industrial railing. There we go. And I'm just going to lay this out all the way down that way, and all the way down that way. And this area here, this bridge, the reason it's here is it's going to be taking the coal from these miners and basically delivering them straight into the coal rigging itself, so we can actually power all this on. And the reason we could do this is because we're only actually using Mark 1 miners. Of course we have Mark 2 available, and not that long down the line we should have Mark 3 even. Alright, nice. So that should make the place look a little bit better. Anything that's using metal foundations is going to be removed. All of these little metal things on the outsides, it's just for me to get around kind of more quickly. And then of course I'm going to be putting these things in periodically throughout the episode, sort of adding in the foundations and stuff like that, just to make the place look like it's standing on its own, make it look good, make it look like it's a kind of an oil rig. Of course, we do have our to-do list over on the right side of the screen. First one is the framework, the coal miners and logistics, the pipe logistics, powering it on, beautifying it, and then starting our motor factory. So, since the last episode, I did notice one little error, and it's actually a fairly big error that I've fixed. Effectively, you may remember we used the road barriers to offset these foundations a half foundation over from where the world grid would otherwise have put us. The reason I've done that is because this area will be used for getting coal delivered to it on a belt, so it's going to be already used. So I wanted to offset it to the left, but then by accident I built the entire foundations of every floor aligned with this. That was a mistake. It was supposed to be aligned with what was below it. So when I stepped back and looked, I noticed we were just peeking over the edge slightly with every floor. Now we're not. So I basically shifted everything over to the right about a half foundation. So if you're following along, I apologize for that because you're going to have to redo things now if you were literally following along. I mean, you could get away with doing it that way anyway, but this way it's just the exact same as how I'm doing it. So just thought I'd mention that really quickly. Other than that, I didn't really do anything else. I kept everything the same and just added in these lookout towers so we can kind of climb to the top very quickly. And now I'm going to start laying in the conveyor holes. So we've got 6 coal generators up here at the top, and they've got some of their pipes. And we basically just want to go scroll through here, put the conveyor holes right down in front of where these things are going to be taking stuff in. Just like that. And we'll connect them in just a moment. We'll just run around the sides, do it on the other side. Be a little tricky from this angle, I guess. And the great thing with putting down the holes in the ground first, obviously, is that you get to see where they're going to be coming down and then kind of plan accordingly after the fact. I've also laid out 2 other generators on the floor on the bottom, just so I know roughly where this layout is going to go, just so I'm not messing around and missing the grid or whatever too much. So that's giving about a foundation of space between it and its generator, and that should be doing the same if I'm not mistaken. Yes. That seems to be correct. Good. Should be nice and symmetrical when we're all said and done. Okay, so with that set up, now we will just make sure those pipes are hooked up on this side. We can jump down a little bit. Yeah, just want to hook up those initial pipes because we probably won't be coming up to this area again for a little while. Noodle is the one that seems to work when it's this close, so that's good. You can do horizontal to vertical, which I would have thought worked, but it's just a little bit too close, so Noodle is the one that works the best for when you're right up in its face like this. The other thing then is putting in the elevators. So the elevators will be a Mark 1 belt, and we want them facing that way. They're obviously feeding the coal generators like that. Okay, that is that done. This floor is essentially done. Actually, we could go floor by floor. It would interrupt the to-do list, but I think it would just make more sense so that I don't have to really come up here again. We do have to add the power poles, so let's just do that then next. And that way we can just say, yep, floor by floor we are done. We want to work from the top down, because then we're going to do the logistics floor in the bottom, and we'll have all the conveyor holes and the pipes in place. If we did it the other way, placement would be a real nightmare to get right. So, we can have power poles that now take up to 7 connections. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pop them down, maybe just 2 in the middle, and that should be able to connect to everything and look fairly symmetrical. So let's try that. So right about there. It's hard to actually see where the crossover point would be. About here, I suppose. And then another one right about there. Alright, and then we'll just hook these up. So 1, 2, 3. And each one gets 3, yeah? 1, 2, 3. Just connect them to each other. And then I suppose just find a way out. So yeah, I haven't really thought about how the power actually is going to come all the way out. We could always change it a bit later down the line. But I suppose something on the edge here would just let me know how to connect things, and we can move it later if we need to. Okay, so that's that top floor powered. It has its water, it has its belt. Obviously we don't have anything underneath, but it's just to kind of say like, yep, that is essentially done. We can remove the rigging on top later. The other thing I'm going to do really quickly then is just add in the catwalks around this place. So I noticed, I don't know why, but sometimes they go in foundations and sometimes they don't. But I noticed that they do, and I think it would look really nice having the trim, essentially. Like this. And just bring this all the way around, and then we just need the corner one. So you have to look at the one you want to add onto, rather than look at where you want it to go. And then it works really nicely, so let's just do that. Bring this all the way out. Now, I tried doing it with these ones, but they actually clip through the concrete, so they don't work as well. The industrial walkways, but we could use them in other places anyway. Okay, let's go with this. Alright, good. Yeah, that makes things look really nice, I think, because it's like a concrete center with a metal finish around the sides. I think that makes it look pretty good. Okay, so corner back in, and we'll just grab this right here. I have a real habit of pressing right click, which opens up the menu again. Really, I just need to press F, and that would take me out like this. That way the menu doesn't spam on the screen for a second. And then yeah, I'll kind of need to figure out. I keep doing it actually. I just can't help it. I'll need to figure out a way. Maybe we could have hypertubes that just take us up a take us up a floor, or I guess ladders would probably look pretty nice, but I'd have to find a way for them to actually bring us up and have it make sense. I'll just leave that for another time. I've really just sorted the logistics out rather than the actual idea of getting to the top of it. But that's that floor essentially done. We'll remove the top thing, the halo, almost, later. But the top floor being done, just back off like this maybe for a second. That's 6 generators, all hooked up with a power pole waiting to be used. Have its railing around the sides. And yeah, they have all the belts and pipes ready to go. So we can go down the floor and we can see where all these things come in now. And then we have the other coal generators waiting to be lined up. So these ones have a gap in between, a very important gap I might add, because a pipe is going to go through there. I think. So we'll just do something like... come on. See, holding control. That's me holding control. Yeah? I won't see nothing about those control comments. Unless you just want to irritate me, and that's fine. Go for it. Alright. By the way, a couple episodes ago I asked people to say balls in the comments. And loads of people did. And I totally forgot that I asked that. And I honestly, even now, don't even remember why. I know I said it to do with something when I was building the quartz factory. Because sometimes I edit the episodes, you know, to make time lapses or speed up or slow down various bits or whatever. And I feel like I thought that was all going to be cut anyway. So, I was quite surprised seeing people write that, and then I was like, what is this about? And then someone else in the comments were like, oh, it's really funny that somebody people are writing it. But that was fun to read. Should give you guys, some YouTubers do that. They say, my girlfriend watches a vlogger, and at the end of the vlog they say, if you made it to the end, you know, write this word. Now obviously the thing with that is, a lot of people just look at the comments and write the word everyone else is saying. I don't know why you'd do that. I mean, really, what's it gonna do for you? But I was thinking it'd be fun to do something similar, but then actually play a little mind game. So it's like, oh, I could ask a question where everyone's answer might be different, but that way I would know they made it to the end. You know what I mean? So I'm not just asking people to spam a word. I mean, it's just for fun games. I wouldn't really do it every episode or anything, but might do that in future. Could be fun for a giveaway or something. That way you'd know who did it and who didn't, and who's trying to copy who. All right, here we go. So the conveyor floor holes right up in their faces. Thank Coffee Stain for the soft clipping when it goes yellow like that. All right, there we go. So we'll just hook all these up, and that'll be all the generators. Then are sort of like kind of, well, basically done. They just need to get their these ones just need power, and we want to go with 7. There we go. Excuse me. Alrighty, let's try this again. I was looking at the power network in between episodes as well, and all our coal generators basically make currently 1200 megawatts of power, and we are currently at 1190, and it kind of goes up and down from there. Sometimes it goes over 1200 just really briefly, and then the biomass burners kick in. But that's why I'm building this place, just because I'm just tapped for power. So this is going to add, what is going to add actually? 75 times 12. It's going to add another 900 megawatts. Pretty good. I mean, I could have just like extended that platform all the way out and just built them in a big line again. But I thought it'd be fun to do something a bit different. I've been saying for a while it seems to make sense to try to build these tall. Okay, well, seeing as we're on this floor and we just did the rails up here, let's do the same down this way. It's much smaller area, surface area this time though, so it should be a little bit quicker. Just get the corners in. Is there extra space? Have I done this wrong? Oh no. Hang on a second. Oh, I have. I'm so sorry. I've done it a little bit wrong. But I'm kind of confused. I might have to check my reference screenshot as to what's going on here. There's one gap below us there. There should be just one over here. Yeah. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What floor are we on? The 3rd floor. Let me check my pages. It is a 9x6. I think everything just needs to be scooted over. I actually did that at the beginning of the episode, but I must have done it wrong. Well, I'll just cut this bit out. You get the idea, but I'm just going to scoot everything over to the right so that's like in line with this line. I think that's where I'd have to go. So that way, yeah, because we're after like breaching over this line. So we need it to be within the lines. Alright, we'll cut it there then. Alrighty, there we go. So this floor has got the same thing going on. It has the metal railing going all around the outside. And I've just readjusted where the coal power is now. So it's basically aligned with the center of this bit here, because this is a 6 foundations across, so it had to be aligned with the center. So I just had it aligned in the middle of a foundation by mistake. That should be good. That's all the coal generators in place. All of the pipes and conveyor holes are also in place. I actually had to run back to base. My car is up there, the Exo, well, it's not Exo anything, it's Explorer. I ran out of rods, so I couldn't put down any more of this, so I guess I didn't really anticipate it. And I've been using a lot for the random railing out this way, I suppose, that we're going to get rid of. But anyway, there you go. I also colored the pipe junctions orange to make it kind of similar to how we have the alternating colors going on down here. So any kind of junctions or pumps and things like that will be painted orange, and the regular pipes can be kept blue. So I think that should look kind of nice. I might change the color of these eventually, I'm not too sure. So power, we need to put down power for these guys. Now, you may remember in the Awesome Shop, not only did we unlock Power Pole 2, but in the last episode I got Wall Outlet Mark 2. So we'll stick that up somewhere in the middle here. Let's see, right about there? Is that the... Where's the middle point, actually? We said it was, like, right above me. There we go. Something like that. And then this can just basically connect to every one of them. So that's a nice... a bit of a neater look to the power, I think. It'll all just come out of one. Man, it has to be... It's like vertigo or something looking straight up. I don't know if that's... If vertigo works that way. I think it's from when you look at things on the ground. It feels weird looking straight up. So just something maybe there. Similar to what we have above. Come on. Where are you? There we go. Alright, so that's the 6 generators all hooked up to that, connected to here. And this can like somehow lead out. Again, not too sure exactly where I'm going to put that, but we'll find a way out for it. And to hook it up with everything. So, next phase. So that is, I should have actually put on the to-do list floor by floor, and that would have made more sense. So that's the top floor done and hooked up to power. The middle, that's floor 4. This is floor 3. That's pretty much done now as well. So now is the tricky part. It's the logistics floor. So I suppose what we should do for this is get started with hooking up... Well, actually... Yeah, maybe now we can start on the bottom and feed the pipes up. We can do the logistics later. The pipes should be the next thing, I think. Hey, what the hell? Where did you come from? Not my oil rig. How did you spawn out here? Maybe you moved from there. Alright, cool. This is just floating as well. We need to put down some supports and pillars. So yeah, this is going to look good. So, just to give you an idea here, right? Obviously, we're going to be feeding water all up there, but then we're also going to be feeding water up here. And that's why the foundations are offset. That's why the floors aren't in line with each other. That's the second reason they are, because the first reason is the chimney stacks. So the second reason is the way we're feeding things up. Now, this floor is a bit too big. You could, I think if you were building on your own or you wanted to copy something similar, this is a height of 3, I think, to go up above. It doesn't need to be. It could definitely just be 2, I think. So if you wanted to lower the amount of head lift you're pumping, you could definitely break it down 1. But I think either way, you're going to need the same amount of pumps. So it doesn't really matter. I like the extra space to kind of figure out the logistics, and we'll see all of the belts feeding down. Alright, so let's go down another floor. And let's start working on... Yeah, I don't know what it is with this area, by the way, but it is noticeably choppier than anywhere else in the game in terms of frame rate. And I notice when you walk out there, it's like the lighting changes or something when you walk back in. It just has this like little flicker. So I must be maybe on the edge of like some biome where it's like... Or some chunk where it's like loading or unloading things, possibly. That could be what's happening. So I'm just going to get one of these and maybe put it just somewhere a bit lower down. And we can build from... Honestly, we can just build from here. We don't have to climb up any further. Quite the acrobat. So the pipes are going to be fed up and then deal with there. So let's see if we can get this right first try. So let's rotate down to our bar with pipes. This one here. And number 6. So we'll start feeding this pipe in. We can keep it on the grid. Rotate it sideways. Bring it across so it forms a nice... thing. Noodle actually looks best. Again, noodle's pretty good. Let's do noodle to right there. Cut this pretty much all the way straight across. All the way. And then we can put the junctions in. So the way, see again, pressing control, it actually does line up. Oh wow. Normally it didn't when I was testing things out. So normally what I would do if it doesn't line up for whatever reason is put it on something beforehand. And then when you press control you can just snap in. But it seems like it's lining just fine. So I just want to make sure, did I build that offset? Let's just check this line here. It does seem to be, yep, sorry. I should keep it where we want it. Okay. So yeah, number 5, let's get our junction, hold control, slap it in, hold control, slap it in, and then we'll just hop off. Connect these little bits. Auto 2D, okay? Don't know why Noodle wouldn't connect there, but Auto 2D works just fine. So there we go. And just to keep it on brand, we can turn it to orange to keep our alternating theme going. Alright, cool. So now obviously we have to feed that up. Let me just go up a floor and see where it's going to need to come up. So I think this is where the pillar support below is. I think probably no, I don't want it in a straight line. I want it here so it comes offset. It'll look kind of cool that way. That looks a little bit better, I think. Well, it did, and then it shaped itself oddly. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, let's just maintain that. Bring it all the way down on the same line. And then we can just cut the end off if we need to. Alright, so where the plan is to feed them up there. So to do this, we'll open up our junction. Because it won't line up with anything, we do know it needs to line with this line here. So we'll just put something down like this, and then line it up, but then tilt it by scrolling the scroll wheel. So, again, to keep our theme going, do this. Now, what we could do is... it needs to go up there. There's two ways to do it. We could split the pipe here and drag it along that way, or we could just loop it around. And that way, we'd only need to have one pump. We'd have the pump here. And it would pump the whole thing. Yeah? I think it makes sense. Let's try it. I just hope it doesn't get in the way of other things later. I don't think it does. This is just a logistics floor, so we're going to be building the belts, the elevator lifts. Probably not going to come down as far as the pipes, and we'll have freedom to run, so it'll just stay like that. So I don't think we can get in the way of anything. Don't think so. This is what I was talking about the lighting, by the way. You see? There's some weird thing happening right around this area. There's definitely some, like... I don't think it's just because of what I'm above or anything. It was happening when I was on the top floor as well. And then it does this little flicker with the frame rate when I'm moving around there. I'm not making one more mistake, of course. Let's just get this back. There we go. Alright. And I'll just bring this, drag this all the way to the end, roughly here. And then put our junctions in again. Hey, good thing is we have those tickets. We could get some lights in this place in future. Hopefully build in the you know, never have to worry about night times. So that's that. So the row of water extractors below me feed up to here, feed in 3 there and 3 there. Only requiring, I think they require 2 pumps, one to get us here and one to just go that final distance. It's 20 meters of head lift, and I think that's 20 meters is like 5 walls, and we're just 6 walls up, so just a little bit too high. Oh, so actually, thinking about it, like I said, if you wanted to lower this logistics floor by 1, you might be able to make it the whole way then, maybe. Still don't know, because there's a little bit of a lift. There's like another meter or 2 to get actually into the coal. So maybe not. Okay, so that's that. So we just need to hook that up to the bottom. So there it is there. So we'll just cut this here. Drag this down and hook it in. We'll do horizontal to vertical. That should look better. Yeah, and we'll stick a pump alongside this that just brings it up. Should we do that now? Why not? So there's our pump. That's the direction we want to go. We want to bring it almost as low as you can. Could you do it there? And would it work for the extractor in front of me? Let me know if you can, because if you can, it might look better there. But anyway, we'll do it here for now. And if there's people in the comments that say, yeah, that would just carry the pipe either way, which I assume it would, then I might change it to do that in future. Alright, so right there. course these are going to need, what's it called, power as well. And again, we could have one wall outlet feeding 6 and then have a way out. So that's good. And then we need to power that, of course, as well, the pump itself. Okay. So we're just going to need another pump upstairs. And that should be it. So you can see, actually, the blue outline that's flickering, like those ones that are flickering, that's the 20 meter mark. So that's where you would need it. Now, obviously, we don't want to put down 3 pumps. That would make no sense. We'll just put it there, and that'll feed all 6. Give enough head lift to all of them, I think. So, yeah, let's just whack it down. Maybe put it, like, right about here. Just because, I don't know, little OCD, I guess. Let's just line it up with something. And that way you can just snap it in. It's a line to the world, at least in some form. And then I'll just color this orange. Okay. Lovely alternating... oh, we didn't do those ones. Excellent. Alright, good. That is the first stage of the logistical floor done. Now, the other side, we might as well be... So, what have we done? We've done the rigging framework, so let's just nail that one down. The coal miners and logistics. That's soon. Pipe logistics is basically what we're doing now. So, yeah, we just need to go around to the other side and do the pipes on that side. These are going to be built in a very, very similar way, but I have to go twice as high, essentially. Well, not twice as high, another floor up. They're ultimately going there, whereas the last ones went to here. Okay, so we're going to go... They started on that side and went in. Same with this side. Keep it symmetrical. So we'll start here. Alright, nice. So yep, let's pop in our junctions. Should be pretty straightforward. By the way, if you're having a problem aligning these to any kind of grid, which I did before, you can build foundations underneath them. So, for instance, if you grab one of these, maybe go foundation 4, turn it to vertical, and just go down, and then go out and across, you can just align, they will kind of recognize that they're on a foundation then, even though they're on the water. Because that was a problem I had with those ones for quite a while, actually. But these ones are able to snap. Actually, they did snap anyway to these, but the problem I did have when I was playing around with the idea of this was that, yeah, I just couldn't get them to evenly align to any grids, which is a bit of an issue. So I just thought that was a little tip. Might help someone out there. Okay, and when that goes in a straight line now, we can feed them up, just the way I explained, and this can go up and around the whole way. Oh, no, it's going to go through the middle part. That's why the gap is there. Yeah. Because it would look too weird going in front of the machines. Yeah, I remember now. Cool. Alright, I've got it. Sorry for the little, you know, well, this is what shows you that it's not fully planned out. I'm just kind of, I lay things out on paper, and I kind of mess around a little bit with, foundations and stuff and work out the sizes of buildings, but then ultimately I'm just kind of guessing after that. But the good news is that we want it to come up right about there, I think. I'll just hook this up for now anyway. Turn it to horizontal to vertical. Hook it in that way. So let's just go down below and make sure that this isn't messed up totally. Well, that makes a bit more sense, if that's the case. Yeah, okay. I guess I just lined it up wrong. Sorry. Alright, let's do it again. Horizontal to vertical, up you go. Good, and then again, similar to the other side, we just put that pump on it. And we want it to go as low as possible. There we go. I'll just color that to orange. And that will give us the head lift we need to get up a couple of floors. We'll need another one just before it gets to the top. And that should actually take it the whole way then. So yeah, we're just going to have to move that. It's a little bit offset. This will probably be as finicky as it gets. Once this is laid out, then the conveyor belts are pretty straightforward from then on out. But it's come together. I'm liking the look of it. The idea is good, I think. The execution, maybe could be improved. Alright, so there we go. So that's the line. We'll just move it back one. I didn't like it being on the edge before. So see if this looks any better. We'll go horizontal to vertical again. In you go. We'll do auto 2D. Should that make that one look good? Noodle it, maybe? Let's noodle it. Good. And then we can kind of track where this is, excuse me, going to be needed. Logistics pipe. Really? Surprised it's not telling me where it needs another thing. I think we have to connect it up and then it'll tell me. So we drag this all the way to the end. We'll keep it on auto 2D. Just keep it as straight as we can. We'll hook up our junctions one more time. So that's aligned with here. This junction's aligned with here. This junction, whoops, is aligned with here. Alright, and they can go, and then we'll color this to orange again, just to have our little nice look and feel to the thing. And then we'll just noodle the crap out of this, straight up. Now, this is a slightly wider gap than it was on the other floor, but it's only like the tiniest bit. So from a distance, it should look like they're both doing effectively the same thing. You could push that pipe over further to the right and get the exact same curvature on the pipe. This curve is pretty good, not gonna lie, pretty good. Is it different if you feed it up from the top than down on the bottom? I think it actually is. Let's just do it all from the top and see what that looks like. Yeah, they look different, don't they? Even though they're the exact same distances. It could just be the angle that I'm at. Anyway, okay, let's leave it the way it is. I will just feed that one around, wrap it onto the other side, and that'll be it. That'll be all the piping infrastructure done. And we could tick that off the to-do. So this is the only bit I remember being really awkward. This junction has to have a junction right next to it, literally overlapping. But if you color them the same, we shouldn't notice it. And then this will feed along down the center. So let's just get to the actual center point, which is there. Does it need to be raised? Nope. This will come out and join a pipe in a very similar fashion on this side. So before we start that, let's just hook these ones up to the top. So we'll pop down these supports first. I am tempted to do the support there, but I think it's better on the edge, so that gives us that walking space on the right. So let's just do this, where we hook up the two supports, connect them, and then we can just chop the ends off the pipes. It's like, I don't know why, but it's oddly satisfying to do that. Okay. I saw this, people may have seen it, it's a really good video on YouTube, I think, where it could be, it's stop motion, and people are like cutting wood, but it looks like they're cutting it with knives, because it's done stop motion, so they'll just slice a knife through wood. Oh, yeah, I can't really describe it better than that, but that's kind of what it feels like to me. It's like I'm cutting metal pipes. I'm just chopping the end off a pipe, you know? Something weirdly satisfying about that. Yeah, I don't know how you'd find that video if you didn't know what I was talking about. It's like stop motion. I don't know, I guess. It's like object cutting. They don't just cut wood, they cut things like computers and everything, and it's like, it makes them look like they just cut through things like butter. Good. It's good stuff. Alright. Click these back up. From the top to bottom, that's what we said, and we noodle it. Alright, good. So that is all hooked up. We can now remove this side. Chop it away. And we can chop this away. Okay. So yeah, so that basically comes up there, flows along down this way, and we just need to hook it up to a very similar junction like we just did on the other side. Until we get that pixel. There we go. Color it orange. You don't even notice it. It looks like one big seam, which is awesome. Whoop. And hook that in there. So it is a little crooked, just the tiniest bit, but it's even on both sides. So it's like an even crookedness. Should that make sense? Alrighty, there we go. That is the piping infrastructure almost done. We just have to add that last pump to it to get up that last little bit. I'm assuming... I don't know how it says that that's even possible. Surely we just hop out to here. So the first pump starts there. It doesn't seem to recognize that this is one continuous pipe. The pumping seems to like stop for some reason. Let me just hack away at that and hack away at this one last time. And we'll draw the pipe through both in a way. Horizontal to vertical, straight down you go. Because we should get that nice hologram that tells us like how far up we can really bring this. I know it must need to. Like it can't have just one. There we go. We have it. So there it is. I'm glad I found it because I knew like something was clearly wrong with that. Alright, so there's 2 pumps. That should take it the whole way. No problem. All the way up to the top. So the last thing, so let's just toggle that off. That is pipe logistics done. Coal miners and logistics for them. Then we need to beautify it and begin the motor factory. So we're not beginning the motor factory today, I guess. If we take a step back just for a sec, we can kind of have a look at how this is coming along. So remember, all that metal scaffolding, as it were, is going to go away. We've got an even looking, you know, pipe system feeding up on both sides, both ends, coming up both sides, feeding into the place. I think it looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Can't wait till we see all the smoke turning on. So what we're going to do here is we got to upgrade. So to make sure that power doesn't collapse when we cut off these 2 miners, we have to upgrade the other 2 first and feed them down these belts, but in the opposite direction. That should be pretty straightforward to do, because basically each miner is making 60. We're putting both to 120, and then we're going to split the belt here. Man, I feel like power is going to die probably doing this. But if it dies, it dies. What can we do? So we need a splitter there, right? Just keep power flowing for a second. Right, so that's going to be 240. So we need to just upgrade these. To do that, we need the Mark II miners, so I just have to make a couple of those. I don't have any with me. So we need, what is it? Well, I have to make about 4 or 5 of these. So it's 2. Is our inventory full? No, that's okay. And that should allow us now to upgrade everything we need. Alright, cool. So, production. Miner Mark II. I'm missing encased beams. We actually have some encased beams, I just don't have them with me. They're just down by the waterfront. So let's just go grab that real quick. Alright, we're back. So, should be able to just build them now. Miner Mark II, there we go. Miner Mark II. So that is an increased power demand on those for the current power network. But it does mean that we're producing basically twice as much as we were before. So that's a belt 2 and that's a belt 2, so that means 120 should be coming out of these guys, no problem. We have room for overclocking, of course, if we needed to. And then we need to merge them onto a belt of possibly up to 270, right? I'm actually just going to cut that real quick. Let's just cut this real quick. This needs to be a splitter, but it wasn't aligned correctly, so there we go. Just keep them fed nice and full. Alright, so that's 120 going that way. Now we've room to bring 120 the other way, which is exactly what's been fed down that way already, so it's no big deal. We just need to reverse the direction of all these splitters, which is a pain in the butt. Someone's got to do it. I think the biomass burners will keep us going while we cut these off temporarily anyway. So yeah, basically that splitter, all these splitters need to be rotated. So I'm just going to cut the ground off first, just to make this go as quickly and hopefully smoothly as possible. Cut these off at the bottom. And then we'll just build the mergers slash splitters underneath. Just that, so we have a foundation to build on straight away. Oh, you bastard. I guess the best way to do it would be like this. Can we copy it from the bottom now? Actually can't. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now all we have to do is cut that top layer and rotate them. Yeah, this makes things a little easier to see and do. Let's just also build quickly a walkway that takes me out this way. Alright, so let's disconnect it. Okay, so I don't know if it's going to just take this in nicely or not, but let's just see. And then we'll just hook up the belt again. Oh crap. No. It's those Blade Runners, man. They're too quick for me. Alright, that's basically hooked up. Power is going to die in a second, so we just quickly get our elevator put in place. Alright, there we go. So let's see if it feeds left and right. We did just put the splitters down in place of where they were. So the belts should be fine. I did cut some belts just in case, but let's see. No, see? That's why. That's why I get really frustrated with these things when people are like, oh, just put the thing down in the middle. It's like, well, sometimes it just doesn't recognize the connection. Sometimes. It does sometimes, but other times it doesn't. I believe that's why we built this up here, so we can just do this kind of quickly. So just cut all of these. Cut that. That one's gone. Alright. I suppose I'll just jump down for this then, just to make sure we get them in. I'm out of iron plates. Oh, I dropped them over here, that's why. You know what would solve that issue, actually, of having to race against time, is building those big battery things. Definitely need those. I actually have enough to build one, so maybe we should do that in the next episode going forward. I've never actually seen them or done them before, so it's a little bit different for me. But is that good? I think that means we're feeding everything now. With the excess coal I picked up, I could just toss it into... That's already at 100. Are they already all backed up? Yeah, that's why. There's no problem, actually. I was worried they'd run out. I thought they were right on the edge, but so much time has passed, I guess it's... The manifold has fed everything up to the max. So let's just cut the bottoms off these, bring them back to where they were. Alright, good. Now, just really quickly, I'm going to change this back to a Mark II belt. Only needs to be a Mark II. It's 120 after all. So is this. Alright, great. So that's just double the output. You know, we're getting twice as much. Now these two are feeding all of these, as opposed to just 4 each. Because they only consume 15 per minute. So, great. Hopefully no mistakes. I see coal on every belt except the last one. I'm sure the last one's just waiting to get its belts, though. Or get everything fed up to it. Yep. Good. Alright, great. So that just means all we have to do is connect these then. So we want them to... These also need to be upgraded. So let's go production, miner Mark II. Miner Mark II. Alright, so we've just doubled the output of all of these, and they're going to travel along a belt very quickly indeed. We're going to have to get a merger. Turn it this way. And then we're going to travel along this new bridge that we've just made. That's going to bring all the coal into our big new coal rig facility thing. And that should be 240 coal coming in. Now what I'm going to do here is put down the road barriers, because this is where the bridge will end. Okay, but we'll bring the coal over it. There's no problem there. All right, cool. This will have to move because it's actually directly in the way. Man, this took longer than I thought, even with it relatively all planned out. We've only just got the coal up and running to here. So coal and miner logistics, we can say that that's kind of done. It's really actually I say coal miners are done. We could add a new to-do for coal logistics. Then we have to just power it, make sure it's powered on, which is super quick, beautify, and start the motor factory, but that's not till the next one. Still got a little bit of time left, just a little bit of time. We could start feeding this in and figuring out how it's going to work. So, let's see. This is going to have to be... It's raised, which is what I wanted. So a conveyor wall, let's just say a conveyor wall was right on the edge there. And you had 2 of them. That's our input, right? That's where our coal is coming in. And when coal comes in like that, we then basically have to divide it up 12 different ways. So let's get all the elevators to come down, and they need to be at a certain level. So let's just do I like doing these, bringing these up. 1, 2, 3. I think 3 is probably high enough, right? That's above the pipes. Yeah. Okay, good. So that's just to give me an idea. So we'll start here. We'll come down. That looks like it's right. So how far is that down? 1, 2, 3. It's just 3, is it? Okay. And that basically would be that, right? It's not aligned, it's just off to the right, but that's the same height. That's the important thing. Let me just make sure the height is correct before I do this with everything. Just to double check. Height does seem to be a tiny bit off, actually. There we go, we switched it to the correct. It's supposed to be an input. Let's try that now. Looks pretty good. I don't know why I'm quite skeptical about this. It seems to be like maybe raised the tiniest bit. But I suppose that tiny bit might not matter. Let me just build a quick ladder. Jump up here real quick. Just see what's going on. See if I can get a better look at it. It was just my eyes playing tricks with me. I think it's right. Okay, good. So 3 stack high. That should be the way we do it. Alright, so let's just do that with everything then. So that's... 1... So it's... 1, 2, 3... 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it's 4, not 3. Just because I had to readjust it. Alright, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then we need the same on the opposite side. That damn autosave messing with me. 1, 2, 3. Alright, cool. Alright, good. Looking a little bit better now. So then the last one to do is these ones. These need to come down all the way as well. So a little bit trickier just because I'm just going to drag it down to here for a second. Something like there. And that way I can just put... It just lets me judge the height of where it needs to come down. Probably going to say it's blocked though, actually thinking about it. That's good. There we go. Alright, with one in place I can just figure out the rest. Man, yeah, it's been a long build. I didn't realize it would take quite so long, but there it is. Should be good though when it's done. It is quite complicated compared to just having it out where it could have been. On the ground, just being perfectly level. Probably could have even had more doing it that way, but I think it's fun. I'll be looking forward to seeing if people enjoy this or not. These types of... This is the first kind of more creative type build I built. It's like, oh, I didn't have to do it this way, but I think it'd look cool. And it should be kind of efficient. So we just have these last ones up here. Remember, the reason this was offset was so that it didn't get in the way of this coming down. It's really hard to gauge where it needs to come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Because these ones aren't built at the exact height level or the wall level. That's a little too high. Okay, almost done. Just a couple more to go, and then we'll have to call it there for today, and then we can finish this off in the next one. All we have to do then basically now is split the coal into all of these, and that should be it. Split the coal into these, power it on, and we should have, I think, 900 extra power now. And it should look cool too. So yeah, that's it. So our coal is going to be fed in this way. We're going to go to the center point right about here. Build our first splitter. Which these are all built to the same height, so that should be up to here. And just to test that works, let's say a belt that goes straight from there to there. Yep, seems level. It kind of looks like it bends. I don't know why I'm seeing that. It almost looks like it arcs. It's a weird effect that I'm getting from that. So then we just need to connect this up. So let's get rid of everything that's not going to be here. Not absolutely everything, because we're going to need some stuff to keep messing around with. But there we go. That's the coal that comes into here, and then from here we'll divide it out. So that's 240, which I think needs to be split twice each side. We need to feed... I think with 240 we'll have an excess of coal. 240 divided by 12 is 20. So we have to break it down so that we have... So 240 divided by 3 is 80. So we'll send 80 out. 80, 80, and 80, and then split that into 40 and 40, and then split that into 20 and 20, and then work ourselves around clockwise and then counterclockwise to feed into all of these. We'll power on the pumps, and everything should just kind of turn on, you know, no problems. The only other thing then would be adding the beautification, right? We want to add those kind of beams and support pillars, so basically what I'll be doing is adding these things in. Although the big frames are for the bottom, I'll probably use little frames for up here, and we could just use things like this that soup their way down. And then we'll have the railing that goes around on the edges, just like these ones, so that should look good. And then from a distance we'll see, like, it should just look kind of like an oil rig, hopefully. Loving the look of that as well, by the way, already. Yeah, it's cool. Nice. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. Sorry I didn't get it done, but I think pretty good work. I mean, it's just heavy organizing. But yeah, we'll get rid of all those outer rings as well, and then it's just going to be this layered, and when all the stacks start firing, oof, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. And then we have our lovely, beautiful looking bridge that leads out to it. I'm pretty happy with how it's all come along. That extra 900 power then should be more than enough for the 600 I think I need for the motor factory. And then we should have a few extra 100 to figure out what we want to do from then on out and start working towards oil processing. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support the channel directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. You'll also get exclusive access to my Discord, where there's dedicated channels for each series I'm doing, and it's a great place just to meet others and make some friends.